We wish you a Merry Freebies. We wish you a Merry Sales. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Bundles and this nightmare-inducing face of Santa. Merry holidays, my friends. What's up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and all the fish in the ocean? It is I, the man whose pronoun is sandwich, the OGGM, coming to you the second week of December. We are deep into the holiday nonsense and the end of the year, and it's time to take a look at all of the tabletop role-playing game freebies, sales, and charity bundles this week. As always, thank you to ENWorld for posting all of these links, and anything I think is worth your time, I've made a link to. I'm sure I'll make fun of a couple of these, as I always do. But as always, you know, I'm just one guy. I'm just one guy with 1,000 plus subs. Make up your own mind. Don't listen to me. Check out Drive-Thru. Check out DM's Guild. Check out Humble Bumble. And see if there's some swag you want to pick up this week. I'm just going to make a wild guess. We're going to stumble across a few that are holiday themed. Just probably. Okay, just who thought this was a good idea? This is just nightmare fuel. This is not what I want to see staring at me the first time I open a page. That's burned into my retina. All right, starting up from Drive-Thru. This week's freebies on Drive-Thru RPG. We have something called Total Party Kill, New Year Studios release. This is not in any way, shape, or form connected to anything else with the name Total Party Kill, Total Party Shill, or Total Party Skill. It's a rule light RPG where all the players are the same character, and it's basically everybody is John, but using fantasy instead of everybody is John. If you're not familiar with Everybody is John, it's a very the Disney movie about feelings. Right, it happy with joy and anger. Right, everybody should watch that movie if you haven't seen it. So imagine that Disney movie about feelings as a role-playing game. You're all playing feelings, emotions, whatever, ideas, personalities in this character. All right, so that's basically how it would work. And apparently, there's already an expansion to it called Combat Expanded, also from New Year Studios, for their Total Party Kill take on Everybody is John. And they've also got something called Den o' the Demon Mallard of Gluttony for Mork Borg, a 2-page encounter where you fight a mallard for Mork Borg. A mallard being, of course, a male duck. This is also from New Year Studio. And again, it's very hard to take Mork Borg. Somebody gave me crap a couple weeks ago about the way I pick on Mork Borg. But it's very hard to take Mork Borg serious when almost every supplement for it, except for Cyborg, maybe, has been basically a joke. I mean, I can't take a game seriously where the combat is built around fighting a giant duck. And another one from New Year Studios, we have the Blood Cup, a collection of monsters from Mork Borg, featuring a dozen unique monsters themed off of the 12 Days of Christmas. And 3 calling birds, I guess, Eddie Murphy has that new movie on Amazon called Candy Cane Lane, where basically he is cursed to live through the 12 Days of Christmas. And it's supposed to be like a lighthearted family Eddie Murphy comedy. It's just watching giant geese attack the village. It's a horror film. It's a horror film disguised as a holiday comedy. We've got from Every Trick Book, the Every Trick Books newsletter bundle, which features a whole bunch of magic items and other things that this company has done over the past year. So, think of it as a free version of like Dragon Magazine or Trove or all these other magazines that have been part of the hobby forever, where you have just sort of bits and bobs, magic items, artwork, NPCs. And these guys have been doing this newsletter, and then they bundle it all together for a best of for the end of the year. It's free. It's on Drive-Thru. We've got a solo RPG called Haunt on the Borderlands from Red Ruin Publishing. That's not Red Room Publishing. It's Red Ruin Publishing. It's an OSR solo adventure placed around the Borderlands. So yet another homage to Keep of the Borderlands. I think, when I said I thought that Tomb of Horrors was like the number one. No, it's got to be Keep of the Borderlands, right? I mean, I don't think a week goes by that I don't see some vague reference to Keep of the Borderlands. So I think, if we did the all-time list of the all-time, the number one adventure that has been most copied, it's got to be Keep. I would say probably, Tomb of Horrors is maybe 2 or 3, but yeah, Keep of the Borderlands is one. So here's yet another take on Keep of the Borderlands, but this is a solo adventure version from Red Ruin Publishing. Justin Boyle has released an adventure called The Last Voyage of the Kilmeny for Forged in the Dark, putting players in the streets of a pirate heaven of Nassau. That's a real place. And where you have to go and look for a lost ship. Well, I love pirates. I love Pirate Island. I love Pirate Dinosaur Island. So obviously, yeah, this is awesome. Anything with pirates for Forged in the Dark would be cool. We have a 1-page dungeon contest that was run by Spile Knights. Well, they finally bundled together all the entries, all 112 entries. This is called the Dungeon Content Compendium, 223 editions from Spiral Knights. It is 122 one-page dungeons. There's the D&D Beyond Advent Calendar that's free to use as long as you're a member of D&D Beyond, where you get a whole bunch of discounts of stuff, So, is it really an advent counter if I don't actually get any physical things out of it? I'm still great. Okay, I've got a coupon for 20% off of a coffee I'm probably never going to buy. Great. I still have to buy the coffee. I still have to pay for the shipping of the coffee. I still have to wait for the coffee to show up. I'd rather have a real advent counter where I could open every day and get like a candy or something. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. So somebody else was inspired by this, and now we have one from Joseph Frajkor, Jozef first name, Frajkor second name. This is called the Winter City Advent Calendar, with it's a 24-step process to create your own fantasy city. So each page is what? Is this a paper craft? It's a city building thing. Every day of the advent counter is a different prompt to help you build the city, and it's kids friendly. And at the end of the 25 days, you should have a small flashed out city and a winter festival, and it's printer friendly. So it's not papercraft. It's basically just a how to build a city guide builds around an advent counter. So day 15, milk shop. I don't know. Good idea. Altair Clandestine has also released their event calendar. This one's called Enchanted Forest. Atelier is the first name. Clandestin is the second name. 25 tables of 6 items each for your players to uncover in an enchanted forest. So again, this isn't a paper craft or an actual thing. It's every day is a random prompt, or in this case, 6 random prompts for things to throw at your players while they're wandering around in a forest or any other wilderness thing. Okay, cool way to just do adventure prompts, I guess. David Gower has been looking at the religions of Glorian, the campaign setting for Pathfinder. This month he is doing Magda. Magda is the Glorian Pathfinder god of like divination and seers and stuff like that, divine fighting. So yeah, seeing the future. So I guess he's been doing this for a while. So if you're interested in somebody taking a deep dive to each of the individual gods that exist in the world of Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remastered Core Electric Boogaloo Volume 2, this guy is the guy to check out. David Gar, free on drive-thru. We've got a one-shot dungeon crawl from Mork Borg called Chamber of Reflection from Dice and Dish. This is also free on drive-thru. We have got something that claims to be an OSR guidebook. This is called the Roll Gaming Premier and Old School Playbook, a 67-page book describing the best-known of the various D&D retro clones, along with advice how to run and play OSR games. So it does not list or go into depth to every OSR game, but it gives you a good broad understanding of the retro clones on the OSR. I've posted a link to this down below. Currently, I think we're at around 3,000 OGL OSR retro clones throughout the world. 80% of those, 90% of those being older D&D, some of those being other games. But yeah, so last time I checked the list, we were up to like 3,000. So, and that's not, that's everywhere. That's the entire planet. So it's not like this OSR thing is a new thing. People have been making retro clones and homebrews for pretty much as long as the games existed, right? I'm pretty sure I made one. Okay, Chef Alton Green, that's a real guy. Wait, that can't be the real Alton Green. Presents Hot to Cook Cave Troll for the dinner and gaming table. It's a combination of the 5e sourcebook with rules for cooking the monsters you face, along with the benefits and side effects of eating it. It's a real recipe cookbook for your gaming crew to recreate the dishes using ingredients available in the real world. Good, because trolls don't exist. Is that actually Alton Green? Because Alton Green's a real dude, right? He's a real chef. I don't know. It could be the real Alton Green, or it could be a fantasy character named Alton Green, and the guy didn't know that there actually is a guy named Alton Green. Anyways, it's a recipe book. It's D&D themed recipes where you get a real world recipe, and then you just replace the ingredients with fantastic ingredients. So instead of, it being ground beef, it's ground minotaur meat. Whatever. It's free recipes that are vaguely holiday themed. I wonder if Alton Green plays D&D. He seems like the guy who would. Aspen Works released a hefty adventure called Dreams of Grimhollow, a 5e mega dungeon. This is a 148-page 5e mega dungeon available for free called Grimhollow. I mentioned this yesterday, and I thought it was a video game, but somebody corrected me. So it is a third-party D&D mega dungeon that's available on D&D Beyond to prove that, Wizards is going to allow people to put their, pay them for the privilege of hosting your 5e product, of which they will take a very large percentage of every time they sell one, as long as you keep paying to rent the space, that is. But anyways, yes, Dreams of Grimhollow is a 148-page free mega dungeon on D&D Beyond. I used to love mega dungeons, but after spending a year going through Borrow Maze, I don't love them as much as I used to. I had this conversation with, RPG Grandma a couple weeks ago. And I think, the best way to run a mega dungeon is not tell them. It's never say they're in a mega dungeon. Just each chunk of the mega dungeon is run as a separate dungeon. They don't know, right? It's not the mega tomb of meganess. It's this week you're going through this. And then in 3 weeks from now, when you finish this, you're doing that. But these are all just chunks of the mega dungeon. You never actually tell them that it is one continuous. You run each little thing. It's a separate thing. It's a separate group of modules. I think that's the only way it works. Moving on to DM's Guild. Ellen Knolder has released something called the Pantheon of Anuki. That's Ellen, A-E-L-E-N-A, Knolder, K-N-O-D-L-E-R, has released the Pantheon of Anuki, A-N-U-N-N-A-K-I. It's written by an actual Near Eastern archaeologist, bringing the gods of Babylonia to D&D with 25 major and minor deities. And so this person actually sort of knows what they're talking about, because they are an actual archaeologist who would study Near Eastern history and archaeology. We have a third-level holiday-themed adventure from Gulliver Finch called A Very Goblin Holiday. Charitable heist of the Wizard's Tower, inspired by the Home Alone movies, as you break into a Wizard's Tower. So I guess you're playing a group of goblins trying to break into a Wizard's Tower, and Home Alone type stuff happens to you. Because yes, you guys ever seen the thing where like actual doctors go through the injuries that happen through in Home Alone and Home Alone 2 and go the amount of times those guys should have been dead? Kevin should not have been like the smiling, happy guy who's like, oh, Kevin. No, Kevin should have been like, dear God, we're going to have to try this guy as an adult. He killed these two men. An individual by the name of Zrave, Z-R-A-V-E, brings us something called Gnome for the Holidays, where you help a gnome who wants to spread holiday joy around Waterdeep by handing out toys, but then you're robbed. A lot of people for D&D are going to be getting the D&D starter set. At least this person thinks so. So they have released some expansions for the starter sets. Keith Stonefield has released an expansion for the Stormwick Isle one called Expended Hot Springs Havoc. And he's released another one for the Stormwick Isle for Expended Observatory. So these are all for the most recent starter set, the one with the individuals who look like but are not the children from the D&D cartoon. Lightning round. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 new character options. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new maps or 3D thingies available for DM's Guild this week if you're looking for some more 5e subclasses that are still legal, at least for now, and some printable stuff. As always, if you're downloading and installing files like PDFs or 3D printers or VTT printers, check them for viruses, please. And now we return to this Nightmare Fuel. Moving on to sales, Rising Phoenix Game also has a RPG calendar. So this is a discount calendar, I guess. Let's check it out. 24 titles for $24. All including Hero Kids and some other stuff. They've done something called AMSR Studios. And the only one on here you've probably heard of is Hero Kids. So it's 24 different games in a bundle for $24. So is that really an advent calendar, or is it just a bundle and you're calling it an advent calendar? There is a bundle for $3 called Everything But the Kitchen Sink Bundle, which includes a whole bunch of stuff for Acid Wizards, which I guess is a role-playing game, and 3 spider-themed monsters, including Spider Hunters, Spider-Bound Mummies, and Spider-Bound Queens. So if you're afraid of arachnids, don't get this. If you love arachnids, on the other hand, do. Not sure what it has to do with the kitchen sink unless there's a kitchen sink mimic in it. We've got a Black Friday art, spells, backgrounds, and item bundles. Doesn't say from who, but it looks like it's on drive-thru. This is $9, includes a whole bunch of stuff that I guess originally was supposed to be available for Black Friday. Didn't sell, so this individual has bundled them all together. It's got 170 assets, and it's art and VTT files and stuff like that. So if you do pick it up, make sure to check it for viruses and stuff like that. Then we have something called the Black Friday Creator Resource Bundle, which contains a whole bunch of more art, 50 pieces of handmade art that is claims to be AI art free and available for you to use. So it's art that you can use in your game or product or whatever without worrying about violating the weird AI art mega legal mumbo jumbo thing. That one's also $8. Okay, now for the charity bundles. The Doctors Without Bundles border is continuing. It's up to 20 tabletop role-playing games. It's $10. All proceeds go to Doctors Without Bundles. We have a bundle for the game Assignment Danger. This goes to show for Doctors Without Bundles. God, I need some caffeine. You just Doctors Without Borders and Bumbles and blah, blah, blah. Ooh, Monday. Okay, Assignment Danger, a charity bundle for Doctors Without Bundle. This includes a whole bunch of product from a company called Hounds and Jackal Games, including the RPG Assignment Danger, which I guess is a Super Spy RPG. Sly Flourish has a bundle up on Bundle of Holding of all his Lazy Dungeon Master books. So these are all the Lazy Dungeon Master guides that Sly Flourish has made. Highly recommended, highly reviewed, always gets great reviews. He's made about 8 or 10 of these. He's got his Lazy Dungeon Master's Guide to Monsters, Lazy Dungeon Master's Guide to Treasure, and an adventure that he's created as well. And this is $6. It's direct relief. Magpie Games has a collection for their Powered by the Apocalypse RPG called Bluebeard's Bride, which is I guess a gothic horror, vaguely pirate haunted house RPG that was made. This is for $15, and it goes to the Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program, which I think we're still angry at. There's a huge Shadowrun 3rd Edition mega bundle available, $25. Pretty much gets you everything that's ever been made for Shadowrun 3rd Edition, which is interesting because they just announced that they're reprinting Shadowrun 1st Edition. Not sure why, but I guess, is it the anniversary or something? Anyways, that's $25, and it goes to support the Electronic Frontier Foundation. If you're looking for a new tabletop role-playing game to try out, we have the Cornucopia 2023 bundle featuring a whole bunch of different role-playing games, including Agents of Concordia, Gumshoe, Casting Ruins, and the superhero RPG Spectacular, as well as the Apollo 47 Technical Handbook. That one's brilliant if you've never seen it. Outgun, Into the Odd, and Worldwide Wrestling. So this is a $15 bundle. It goes to support the Diana Jones Award Emerging Design Program. If you've never seen the Apollo 47 Technical Handbook role-playing game, it is brilliant. It is an actual, or as close to actual, technical handbook for spaceships, printed out like a NASA technical handbook from the 1970s. It's like over 1,000 pages. And somewhere in all that information is a 3-page role-playing game. The Kevin Crawford Sin Nominee collection is still up. This goes to support food pantries in the area and includes Stars Without Numbers, Cities Without Numbers, and all the other things that Sin Nominee / Kevin Crawford has made over the years. Highly recommend this one. You know, Worlds Without Numbers, Stars Without Numbers, City Without Numbers are brilliant. You can pick that up for $13. We've got the Torg bundle still going for $10. You can get all the starter books for Torg. And for $18, you can get all the supplements for Torg. And this ends today. So if you're ever curious about the game that wasn't Rifts, but did kind of the same thing, Torg. Torg never got the push that Rifts does. Some people have said Torg came out before Rifts. Other people have said, no, Torg came out after Rifts. I think the general consensus was they kind of probably came out the exact same time, but just because of shipping and everything, and it's just when your shop or had it in stock is your brain and then assumes that's the first one that came out because that's the first one you saw, but they actually both kind of came out around the same time. And there wasn't a game that did this before Torg and Rifts. It was called Warp World. Then there was Torg and Rifts. Rifts, obviously, the most popular of the games that do the whole alternate future where everything happens all at the same time. Torg was the one that had the Norse gods had come down and Odin had started a rock band, if I remember correctly. We've got a solo RPG library bundle from Parts Per Million. This features 42 different solo RPGs and rules how to solo various different RPGs. If you've ever wanted to solo Aliens, here's the rules for it. If you've ever wanted to solo a dungeon crawl, here's the rules for it. $18 is the most popular pledge, and that's direct relief. We've got the Cartographer bundle featuring, of course, Campaign Cartographer 3. That's $30. Gets you all the 13 map collection for the Campaign Cartographer 3 and all the other ones that came out about that same time. It goes to watershed charities that are dedicated to preserving watersheds and stuff like that. And that ends today. Then we've got the Mega 5th edition bundle that ends this Friday. That's got all the titles from Kobold Press and Green Ronin and these other companies that were made for 5e. The only one I recommend is Gary Gygax's Necropolis. It's on there. I've played through that one. That was like one of the last 5e adventures last Pathfinder adventures I ever played was a Pathfinder conversion of Necropolis, and it was awesome. That's $25, and it goes to support medical, first aid, Red Cross type things. We've got the Doctor Who Mega Bundle still going in honor of the 60th anniversary. Children in Need, $18, goes to support Children in Need, and you get just a whole bunch of Doctor Who stuff, books, audio dramas, the actual role-playing game, and of course, the Yogcast Jingle Jam is still going to the 14th. So if you want to take part of the Jingle Jam, that's £35. You get a huge bundle of about 1,000 pounds worth of role-playing of digital games. About 75 games are on the Jingle Jam bundle, and you can choose which charity that goes to. So there we go. There's all our charity bundles and stuff like that. That was a mouthful. That was almost a half an hour. If any of those sound like a bundle you want to pick up, great. I've posted links down below to the ones I think are worth your time. But as always, I'm one man who cannot pronounce the English language, so don't listen to me. Make up your own mind and let me know which ones you pick up and what you thought of them. Thanks again to EN Publishing for posting this every week. And I'll talk to you all later. Bah humbug.